Oh, hey. Apparently she said action. She's counting it down like a movie set, my lovely camera woman wife. Today, we are going to start putting the head back together on the Farmall C demonstrator. I just like to say before we get into it, I posted on the Farmall Restorations page that, you know, this is looking more and more like a demonstrator the more I start stripping the paint. And of course everybody says it's not a real demonstrator. They sit and tell you that, you know, it's primer, white primer. So I had maybe 5 or 6 guys say it's primer, but then they tell me to do all these things to make sure that it's, you know, there should be white paint in this spot and white paint in that spot and white paint in this spot. Trust me, I hate painting tractors. I'd rather just do like I did to the old 47. Just clean it and clear coat it, send it down the road. But now, I painted things white, which I'm wearing gloves to try to minimize grease and grime and all that crap and ruining the white paint. But, back to my point. So, I just want to show you a couple of things. So when I originally posted, I posted that, you know, I'm stripping the hood down and I'm coming across white all over the hood. And they said, well, that's primer. And they said that these weren't the right decals for the tractor. How they can tell, I have no idea. But then I told them, well, if you flip it over and look inside, there's white paint here and white paint here and white paint here and white paint all over there. And they said, well, that doesn't mean anything, it's primer. So I said, all right. So one guy says, well, he says, well, what's your serial number? So the serial number on mine is,
sorry.
Oh, my cameraman woman sneezed. The serial number on mine is 48,740. That fits in with the serial numbers for the demonstrators, because International never really labeled or numbered the demonstrators differently than the regular tractors. They all had the same serial numbers, which kind of surprised me because International was really anal about you know, labeling, marking, serial numbers, everything. So anyway, the first test was pull the hydraulic control cover tins. They're red. They're showing a little white over there, but the guy says if they're white underneath, that's a true sign. Okay, well, they're white underneath. And that was one guy. Oh, maybe you do have a demonstrator. Then, don't mind the mess, we've been working. This is a real garage, not a fancy, you know, sponsored garage. So then, another guy says, well, I have a true demonstrator, and if you remove the rear light off the box, it should be white behind there. So I said, okay. So I removed the light. It's not so much white there, but it's white there. But look at the tractor itself on the box. It's all white. So, and then to go a step further, not only are these are the bolts that hold it in, the washers are white, and the bolt head is white on top. So that was the second guy, but you can look just by her zooming in. Well, not those, that's rust, but oh no, maybe not back here. There's not much back here. But anyway, so then another guy said, well, the only way to really tell if it's a true demonstrator is pop the serial tag off, and if it's white behind there, there's beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond the shadow of a doubt, it is a Farmall demonstrator. So what did I do? I popped 2 of the tags, which I didn't want to, but I did. And sure than shit, oh my God, look at that. Completely white, like it just came out of the showroom. And this was the guy that was talking the most junk about saying that it was primer. So he said, nope, you definitely have to have a real one. So we investigated further to see about white paint. That's not white paint, that's bird shit. But if you look at my fenders, there's white paint spackled all over there. If I had a better light, you can kind of see in the box over here, there's all white paint inside the box. And then, I'll crawl on the ground since I got crappy clothes on. We're gonna go Blair Witch mode for a second. And then, if you crawl underneath this bad boy, the whole underneath of the tractor, all over the place, has got just massive white spots from the paint. Now all I did is just wipe the grease off the bottom of the cover here, and just used some carburetor cleaner, wiped it off, and it exposed all that white paint. It's everywhere. So at this point, serial numbers, paint locations, different tests that people have told me to do, beyond a shadow, beyond a shadow, reasonable doubt, not reasonable doubt, beyond the shadow of a doubt, any kind of doubt, as you want to label it, this is a real Farmall C demonstrator. So that's pretty cool. Other thing I'd like to say too is I used one of these massive turbo system Rust-Oleum cans. Man, does it spray. As you can see, I sprayed the whole goddamn piece of cardboard and garage floor. In my boots, I just cleaned them with white paint. I don't recommend these for small jobs. I recommend with the way the fan goes, you know, I recommend it for big jobs. So, yeah. My local store, all they had was these. There is a shit ton of, there is a ton of paint in these things. So, yeah. Only good for like big fan sprays because the spray comes out ridiculous. Not for little things like that. So now I've got a white garage floor. Cool. So yeah, so anyway, ordered a whole new valve kit off of Steiner. You know, it's in there. You know, valve guides and springs and retaining clips and all kinds of good stuff. I was always told keep the Farmall stuff or international stuff international if you can. So what I've basically done is I've taken the head all apart, cleaned it all up, lots of carburetor cleaner. As you can see, I painted it, you know, cleaned the tops up. But what I did is I checked the valve guides. The valves are shot. They're just 70 years old, you know, it's time, or 74 years old, you know, it's time. So here are the new valves. This is where I had the low compression, second and third cylinder. I think I showed on another video, we found the issue, if I can find them, because these valves are yeah, here we go. These valves are basically gonna be souvenirs, but here's my culprit. There's a good valve and there's a bad valve. So just probably years of abuse, years of neglect, you know, a lot of hard hours on this machine, more than likely. They wore out after 74 years. So yeah, so what I basically checked everything. So I put the new valve in. As you can see, it sits really good on the seat. And then you flip it over, and there's just no movement. The guides are good. There's no slop. So I'm gonna keep all the original stuff from International in there. Just gonna put the new valve in. The only thing that I have doubts, because when I worked on my other H, these valve retainers or clips, whatever you want to call them, the new ones didn't seem to seat right, that I got from Steiner compared to the original ones from my Farmall H. So I'm a little leery about those. I did keep the old ones. Obviously, that one just kind of got loose. So I'll try them. If they don't work, I'll use the old ones. The other thing I want to suggest is when you're cleaning these heads, as you can see, I have quite an assortment of wire wheels. I've got little ones, really soft wires, a little thicker, soft, you know, soft, little thicker, different sizes, a whole plethora of different wire wheels. It just makes it easier to get in and clean. You know, you can hit different things, you know, they can fit in, clean better. You know, these little guys, really, you can get them in there and, you know, just really go through them. I know a lot of you probably gonna say, oh, you know, I probably should have had it plain to make sure it sits flat. And well, I know the head is good because the tractor didn't smoke, surprisingly, the whole time. It only did when you started it. I had no issues with the tractor running. I mean, it ran great. It just no compression. and I had 2 bad exhaust valves. So I'm gonna try putting all new valves in, something I don't normally do. As you can see, I accidentally painted this white. That paint gets everywhere, man. It's ridiculous. But like this valve here, it's old, but there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, this is a souvenir now. You can still see, I always find this cool. You can still see the R.A.G logo and made in the USA on it. That's stuff you don't see, but this is still a good valve. I mean, you can use it. I mean, it sits tight, it doesn't look bad at all. Normally I would, but the kit was $189, so I'm gonna use as much as I can. Oh, and here's the other thing, a little side note. You wanna know why shipping's so expensive these days? Is look at the size of the box that Steiner sent this little box in. That and a head gasket in that big box, so that's why you pay all that money for shipping. And I did get my cowtails, by the way, which I did split with my wife. Normally I eat them all by myself, but I didn't this time. So I'm gonna throw these in here for now. So I hate putting heads back together. I hate taking them apart. I'm going to invest in a new valve compressing tool. If you guys are new to doing this, this is the most annoying tool in the world, but it works. Essentially, you just put the spring in. There's one long end, one short end. Oops. Yep. See, even I suck with it. So it essentially just hooks in like that. And you just, twist it and compress it. And it'll just, compress the spring. I know I've only got it on one side, but anyway, that's the deal. I hate these things so much. But, so I'm gonna do one valve for you. You do one this way, you do them all the same way. I'm sure plenty of you guys have got better ways to do it. More of you experienced mechanics have got better ways to do it. This is the way I do it, so I don't go insane and end up hitting old Punchy over there. So I just need basic tools. I get my little stubby carburetor screwdriver. I keep these guys handy for these stupid valve retaining clips. You need your compressor. Got the top, head right here. Little pin goes on top of the valve to hold it from falling down. So we're gonna start right here with this exhaust valve. The other thing you want to check, if you're new, exhaust and intake are 2 different size. So make sure you put them in the right holes. I mean, you can kind of tell, but we're all human, we all make mistakes. So I flip the head over like that, and I put the screwdriver underneath because it holds the valve right in place where you need it to be. Then you insert Mr. Clippy here. See, now that's on there. And if I didn't have the screwdriver under there, the valve would only go down until it hit that little retainer. Then you would put your spring, then you put your top, So now we get to do my favorite part, where I'll probably, I don't know if you can you swear on YouTube? I don't know if you can swear on YouTube. Can you swear on YouTube?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, I'm good at swearing, so it's half my vocabulary. My wife's even better.
I'll have to make a beep button for you. Beep.
Yeah.
When you swear.
All right, so let's show this again now that I'm doing this right. See, I'm not a professional, so I screw up all the time. So you put that piece on there and it holds it better. So I always squeeze these because they like to pop out. Then you just twist it, trying to keep it centered here as best I can. So I squeeze them, I put pressure on them because it's always one damn side and screws up the whole thing. And I know there's different ones, and I think I am going to invest in a different one. So with that valve being down, or being in, and us getting the spring on, I think I have enough. See? Yes. Never fails. Never fails. This is why I'm not going to do a whole video of doing this, because
Be a lot of swearing.
not so much the swearing aspect. It'd be a lot of that. A lot of this thing popping up because I don't know. You guys could tell me if you have any easier tricks. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong, but see, it's in there pretty good. It's grabbing. So we'll try this again. Try this again. If not, I have a thought. But yep, see. I'm gonna get it. Gonna get it. It's much easier when they're under pressure. All right, so let's try this again. So I got that in. Praying to God that it stays. Got to get your tiny hands in there. We got one in. I guess one is better than none. So now we got to compress it again. I'm just going to call this episode Compressing the Springs. All right, toilet, come on. Gotta get it lined up because I gotta get that other retainer in. I think with a little luck, and a pair of needle nose, it's tough to show you because there's just not a lot of room in here. If it don't go in this time, I'm getting a water bottle. Aha! Nope, fell out. See, this was the same problem I had with my H, is these clips, these aftermarket clips, they seem to be not the same. Yeah. Probably because they're not worn out, I don't know. I don't even know if these things wear out. I'm sure anything, like anything. All right, so now we're in. That's one. Now I have several more to go in the process. You know, I'm gonna clean each one of these up, you know, get all the schmutz off of it. Try to get everything as nice, as clean as I can, so when we put the head back on, you know, everything will be clean as much as we can get it. All my push rods are good. They're dirty. I'll clean those up. Basically, I just find a flat surface and roll them and look to see if they're curved. You know, when things roll when they're curved, they don't really roll good. And then got our rocker here. I'll clean that up. This is our other project. This is the gas tank off that hit and miss motor over there. I know I'm gonna sound cheap, but these gas tanks are really expensive. So I know it looks like hell, but I'm gonna cover it up. I'm gonna try to just fill all this in with JB tank weld and hope for the best. I know this stuff works. I just don't know if it's gonna work with as many holes that are in here. So I may have to bite the bullet and buy a new one, but I mean, it's pretty hard. That's what she said. But anyway, yeah, so back to staying focused here. So that's how you do it. I'm going to do the rest of them. We'll get the head together. Not going to torture you with me doing this because this is just a process. It's the worst thing I hate doing, building engines, is this part. And then we'll put it back together, and then we'll go show you how to put the head back on. Thanks for watching. If you like us, give us a like. If not, well, then I don't know. You're not hurting my feelings either. But have a good one.